Hey there. So if there are any limiting beliefs, now is going to be the time to let them go, okay? And to notice them. And even if you have to take, people can come into such awareness if they take a week and observe their own reactions and behaviors, okay? You can notice so much in yourself that you didn't notice, that you just do by habit, because your brain runs on loops, and it has the natural capacity to get carried away with itself. So you can imagine those two things together, what that does, right? That's a perfect recipe for overthinking. So if there's and if you're not aware of what you're doing, take a week, take a few days, notice. There were times where I was going through like massive healing intentionally for years, and when I was first starting, like I'm jumping into this with both feet, and I would carry a notepad around, like a tiny one in my back pocket, and I would write down, like, kind of step off to the side and go, It was a like objective observation of what was coming out naturally from your cellular memory, from your past, also your past lives you incarnate, and then as that soul is integrating with the body, it can, the cellular memory is going to show up of these past lives. So that's how and why you're clearing all this. This is your inner child, but this is also that when your soul comes in and expands and integrates with your physical body when you're young, all the memories from your past life stuff, it's all going to integrate into your cells. So that's how and why you're clearing all of that stuff. Because this is the culmination of all your past lives. You're healing all of it now. Past, present, future, we can call it, because there's lots of stuff going on. But for the sake of the conversation, to keep it oversimplified and not dip too much into quantum physics, that can really fuck people up sideways and is unnecessary to even dig that deep into it. You can have all this past life stuff and past stuff from this life. You're healing all of it. And that's why people can feel like, I've lived 5 lives in one life. I've done, I've married different people, and I've, had different jobs, different careers, different experiences, lived in different places. Like, I feel like, you have. And usually higher galactics, higher energies want to experience as much as possible in this life. So they may shift around all over the place and different locations. They may go to those locations because they're attracted to where they had these past lives to release them, or because it was a place they loved in a past life, or they are healing that place. They're in these different locations to heal and be like kind of anchor light in these different places. So people are attracted to different locations for different reasons. Those are the main ones. But when you're clearing all limiting beliefs, you have to kind of know what they are. So you have to pay attention to, what you think and what you speak and what you feel, what comes out naturally. And when you spend a few weeks or a few days or a week paying attention, and sometimes it doesn't even take a full week. After a few days, you're like, oh my God, what is coming out? What is coming out? But I would write down things I needed to take into meditation. Because I was like, where did that come from? That's not how I really feel. That's not me. And that's how you know what to heal, is what comes out very organically by accident, or what you're thinking or feeling, where you're like, what is that? Whose thought is that? That's not mine. Which is what enlightenment is. It's you are aware of whose voice is that, and that would be, your physical self. It's like, I see it as, to oversimplify in 2 basic parts. Your higher self connected to God with all the blueprint and the gifts and the path, and knows all the stuff, and then, which is integrating into your physical body. And then you have your physical body, which is really going through it, which is like the pain and the pre-existing conditions but all physical pain is emotional pain. And it's tied into beliefs that you have believed. And everything starts energetically, it works into the physical. If it's in the physical now, it needs to be addressed. It needs to be elevated in vibration, because it's too low. It needs to be alchemized, right? Where alchemy is just like low frequency to high, right? It's like fear to love, basically, oversimplification. But it's negative to positive is really what it is. So you can be in alignment with the changes, with the jumps, with the ascension process, with the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9D. Because it's not just 5, it's the others, dimensions are kind of all collapsing, but not to dig into too far into that either. It's unnecessary to know all of it. It's just you're taking limiting beliefs of your physical body, the conditioning that it's had past lives in this life, and you're taking off all the limits because your higher self is dropping into your physical body, integrating with your physical body, and that is a totally different way to think and be, because there are no limits there. You're operating outside of time and space. That's what meditation does. You give this a nap so it can stop telling you, like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Giving the child a nap so the parent can do the work is really, but it's like the parent is growing, integrating into the child body, I guess, to oversimplify it. But so it can be in charge, and you can come into your full power, okay, and who you really are, and the gifts you really have, and the things you really can do, and have and be, really. So it's that integration that's happening. So the lower frequency stuff has to move out of the way. It can't go where you're going. And if you look at it like that, it can't go where you're going. You're going to have to break up with it, okay? So sometimes your higher-ups may go quiet. I mentioned this in a video I just made yesterday, but sometimes they may go quiet because you have elevated, you have enough knowledge, and now you have to put it into practice. And in the beginning of spirituality, beginning of awakening, beginning of becoming self-aware and all that stuff, there's a lot of help. And then if that help trails off, it's because you need to kind of take over and do the work that you know to do. And if you're not doing it, then they go quiet for several different reasons. But it's they're in a big state of observing right now what we're doing, and they're watching this big event that's unfolding, and bigger ones about to unfold, and they're observing, how are they reacting, how are they doing, there is lots of help available, but at the same time, they want you to kind of take the reins and come into your power, your authority over your space, over your life, over, are you going to command over your life what you want, or are you going to bitch and complain and just, repeat that, pattern that doesn't do any good. Now, anger, some people are struggling with anger. Anger is empowered sadness, okay? People feel like it's a little higher on the vibrational scale. People feel like they're doing something when they're angry. If they can't change a situation, they'll get angry about it. Or if it's not happening fast enough, the changes are not happening fast enough. So, sorry, some plow through. If it doesn't happen fast enough, that can really be frustrating. But at the same time, God was showing me something the other day that for everybody to kind of pull back into an observing mode, and that will give everybody a more receptive mode to what's going on. You can see more clearly when you're more objective. If you're so tied into the outcome, you can't see clearly. That's why readers say, I can't read myself. You're not objective enough. It's hard to be 100% objective in that case. You have to be objective enough to not be so tied into the outcome, when you want it, how you want it to show up, how you want it to be. It's going to be my way or no way. And God's like, well, my ways are not your ways. Yes, this could flip like a light switch and be all fixed, especially if you raise your frequency. But the anger has a lot to do with the fear of it. Maybe it's not going to happen, or let's speed it up, or because I want what I want when I want it. Well, God's like, I really don't care what you want in the grand scope of all these things. You're a puzzle piece in the grand scheme of things, and we all have to, we all level up together, while our external circumstances are leveling up at the same time to support that level up, right? So it's tough, and it can be very frustrating, very impatient. Ones that come from higher places, galactic, angelic, things like that, very impatient because, we're used to manifesting instantly, and we come down here and it's like trudging through fucking mud, and people are mad and angry, and makes us mad and angry, and, we want, like, things need to, let's go, it's go time. It is go time. It's absolutely go time. It's happening now, but that comes from a high frequency, not from anger and trying to shove it into alignment. There may be times where you are angry and you have to shove shit into alignment. That is a thing. To clear a path, okay? But overall, try to stay in a kind of objective, observing, not absorbing type of you. It helps you to do everything.